A vintage baseball glove is not nearly as flashy as some of the ball gloves we see today, but the craftsmanship and design that it offers is truly one of a kind. This is my vintage Wilson A2000 XLO, and let me tell you about its origins and why this glove was so advanced for its time. There's not much information on vintage Wilson A2000s, and because of the widespread information, there are not many original sources to count on. After scouring the internet, I thought I'd make this video encompassing all the information that I have found scrolling through PDF documents, websites, and discussion forums. Here's what I found on the Wilson A2000 XLO. In 1969, Wilson came out with 3 different series of the Wilson A2000: the XLC, the XL, and the L models. However, it would not be until 1975 when the first XLO was created. So normally the first 2 letters in XL stood for the series, and O stood for the type of web that the glove encompassed. So for instance, the XLO is the XL series, but it features an open back web. And in my case, my glove features an H web. The XLO was first manufactured in the US when Wilson was creating their baseball gloves here in the United States. Then, by 1987, Wilson moved their factories overseas to Japan. So originally there's a lot of Wilson A2000 XLOs that have made in the USA. That's how you know it was made in the US on the heel. And then there are some Wilson A2000 XLOs that have Japan, kind of more along the thumb slot, so it's written in fine print just below that. When Wilson made their switch to Japan in their factories, all the XLOs were strictly made in Japan. This is my Wilson A2000 XLO, and as you can see right here, the glove was made in the USA. And according to the code that is found on this glove, you guys can see that this glove was made in November of 1979. Some of the features of this glove is that this glove has what's known as a grip tight pocket, so it has a much deeper pocket in this glove. This glove also features tan lacing throughout the web as well as the fingers and the heel of the glove. This glove also has nylon stitching, so it has this kind of really fine stitching throughout this glove. So as I said before, this glove has snap action, which means that it has a lot more of like a well-defined hinge. The way I broke in this Wilson is that I have one really good hinge right here when I close the glove. It can't really get a second one, but I have one really good hinge. And so the snap action, all it is this extra stitching right here, this lace, and that extra lacing really helps it just have a well-defined hinge, so when you go to make plays and different things, it's easier to close the glove. So I also want to talk about a kind of cool little story behind this vintage Wilson A2000. So my grandfather, Jack Heidemann, was playing in the major leagues at the time that he actually received this glove. He received this glove in a glove swap with another player, and so he traded one of his infield mitts for this glove specifically. And after he got the glove, I guess he just put it in storage. So then about 2 winters ago when I started pitching, he knew I had just started pitching and I needed a big glove, so he gave me this vintage Wilson A2000. So it's in really good condition still, as you guys can tell, and so I kind of broke it in really nicely to my hand, and it is a really good glove. So when I got this glove, I didn't think anything was wrong with it, so I brought it back to college, and on the very first day that I played catch with this thing, the laces snapped. And that's when I realized that this glove, just because of it sitting in storage and not getting a lot of moisture, the glove actually had corroded laces. I was in a bind, I needed the glove back quickly, so I found this really small glove business on Instagram called Reglove, and I sent them my glove, and they returned it to me in about, I think it was 2.5, 3-ish weeks, but just replaced the laces, and I mean, they did a fantastic job, and I used it a little bit. I never used it in a game. Just a really fascinating story behind this glove. I think a lot of vintage gloves in general tell a really cool story, especially from when they were made, used. Could be a family like heirloom or something like that, but a lot of vintage gloves are just so nice to just look at and see, especially this Wilson. This Wilson right here is a fantastic glove. So some of the things that made this glove so unique and so advanced for its time was the use of the Horween grain leather that is encompassed in this glove was traditionally used in belts and just kind of other leather products, especially shoes. So when Wilson was looking at using different leathers back in the 1970s, they encompassed it and put it into a glove like this. Honestly, I think the leather holds up really well, and you can feel the grains and the textures that they used, and that's what kind of made this glove and a couple of their other vintage gloves kind of stand out, especially for, you know, the test of time. I think it's kind of held up really well. You know, like I said, open back web, the H-web, like we talked about, traditionally used with a lot of outfielders. Not very many pitchers used it because a lot of pitchers like more closed webs. And I really like this Wilson logo too. I kind of like the older logo a lot better than the newer one. Just a personal opinion of mine. This glove was very unique for its time just because of its size. You know, obviously it's a lot bigger of a glove. I think this is one of the bigger gloves that Wilson made, especially in the 1970s. The use of just that deeper pocket snap action hinge like we talked about earlier in this video, I think made this glove a lot more reliable. I see a lot of XLOs, especially in softball. I haven't seen quite a lot of baseball XLOs, but I definitely have seen just a lot of people relacing them. And I mean, if you keep up with it and you keep it in good condition, it can definitely last you quite a while. Again, I love my Wilson A2000 XLO. I admire the craftsmanship and the attention to detail that Wilson uses in these old ball gloves. Guys, if you haven't already, please subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Please leave a comment and a like, as it helps me out and it helps the channel out. I am looking forward to creating more content for you guys. We have a lot more coming, and I have a couple surprises for you guys coming out here in the next coming weeks. So anyways, guys, thank you all for watching the video. Heidi Throws out. See you guys in the next video.